Pete here from Do You Even Blog. What if I told you, using 2 plugins only, whatever you could dream of, you could implement with 2 plugins, Pods and Elementor. In this video, I'm going to walk you through step by step how to use the Pods and Elementor plugins together to create custom post types, podcast pages, how to add new elements, custom field types to your blog post, a ton of stuff. Let's go. So if you don't know, Elementor is by far the best page builder for WordPress, just my opinion. You can use it for individual widgets and elements. You can put anywhere across your site, headers, footers, sidebars, blog posts. You can use it for your entire theme, like me on Do You Even Blog. I use Elementor as my theme. Custom headers, custom blog posts. Pods is a tool for adding custom elements, custom fields to all content types. What do I mean by that? I mean, you can go and create new things, like I have blog posts. You can create something that's very identical to blog post, but you can name it whatever you want. I have courses right here, if you can see that. It is a custom post type, a custom page type. You can update your post to add different fields. When I come in here and edit a blog post, here is a test that I created. Obviously, you have a title, you have the post content, all this stuff in here. You have a featured image, but what if you wanted to add more? I don't even know what that is. Maybe an audio embed. You have a podcast and you want your audio embed player to be somewhere special. My friend Dennis does this. You can see he's put his audio player like way up here. He used this through Pods and he styled it with Elementor. And you can put, what if you want to do share widgets, like somewhere over here and you wanted it have a different image anywhere over here that you can just reuse across your entire site. You can add different elements to your existing content types. By the way, I know that it's super confusing. You know why it's super confusing? Because I don't get it either. It's okay. I'm going to show you how to set these things up and then you'll get it. Here's the best example before we dive in. This is a courses / NBB Pro. That's the name of the course. I have built this not in Elementor specifically for this page, but using an Elementor template. As in, when I created all the content here, this image, the video, lessons, what's included, as well as I think there's an outline. Yep, course outline, module 1, lesson, module 2, lesson. All of this stuff, I actually wrote in the content in a WordPress editor, not in Elementor. I use Elementor to build a template to style this page, but I'll show you what I did here. I created a custom post type called courses using Pods. There's the title, here's the content, just like you would normally see. But if I scroll down, you'll see all this other stuff. I added a course tagline, the price, video, embed URL, feature 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, module 1, lessons, module 2, lessons, descriptions. I created a ton of these. All of these are customizable, a different image thing there, where now I can just hit publish and I've styled this page to include these different elements and in various places. So that Vimeo embed URL that I just copy and pasted in, that's that video right there. The links that this button goes to, I copied and pasted that link back in their backend and it just populated right there. The price that you see, like down in the price function, wherever that is, like down here, it also is pulling through from the backend. Same thing with these features, the links, everything is pulling in from those pod elements. So the best way I think to exemplify this and walk you through it is by pretending you have a podcast, or if you have a podcaster, this is going to be very useful for you. But you can use this across blog posts. You can create like courses where you can make sales pages, different landing pages. You can use this in a billion different ways. It's very broad and applicable. But I am going to pretend I am a new podcaster and I want a podcast page. I don't want it to look exactly like my blog post. I want it to look a little bit different, where I can embed like the podcast player and maybe some show notes elements over here at the side and different stuff like that. So I am in a brand new WordPress website. It's blank. There's nothing here, by the way. And this is fake, so don't go looking at this, or you can, but there won't be anything there. First thing I'm going to do, I already have Elementor and Elementor Pro installed. That's worth noting. I am going to install the free Pods plugin. I will just go over here, search for Pods. It should populate. I'll just activate and install really quick. There it is, Pods, custom content types and fields. Install and then activate it. All right, we are set up. I'm going to create a custom post type called podcast. And it's gonna appear over here once I do it. Hang on, let me move my face over here. Wow! Ooh, that was stressful. Pods admin, I'm gonna create a new add new pod. I'm gonna call it podcast again. You can also extend existing ones like update posts and pages and all sorts of crazy stuff. Comments, that's really neat. Create new, singular label, podcast, plural label, podcasts. There we go. Next step. Again, I chose custom post type and I got it. Look over here, it says podcast. Okay, so what goes into a podcast? First of all, if I just clicked over here, by the way, and clicked add new, it probably looks exactly like a blog post. Yep, I got this, publish. That's all I got. Title, content, boom. Okay, well, I want a little bit more than that. So let's go to add a few more things here. What about, I'm gonna go to edit. All right, I'm gonna add a field. The first thing I wanna do is add a, embed. I want like a, where can I embed? Like an HTML thing here. Label, I'm gonna call it Embed Player, where I embed my podcast player right here. If I hit tab, it should auto-populate the name. Description, you can add that in if you want to. I don't really care. Field type, there are a ton of things to choose from. You could make it very specific, like this is a website or a phone number if you want to display all sorts of crazy stuff. What you see is what you get is like the normal editor, like the content section. That's pretty cool. Date, time, number, all that great stuff right here. I am going to be copying and pasting in HTML. I probably could do it with code. I've never actually used this before, so I'm just going to do the normal editor and just type it, put it in the HTML. Option required. Yes, I want to make this required. Every time I publish a podcast episode, it needs to have this embed player. I'm going to hit save, and I saved the field, and then I'm going to hit save pod. Just to show you what I'm going to be embedding, I will go over to my normal podcast. I don't do one called Easy Pod. This is for the Do You Have a Blog podcast. I'll show you. Like for each episode, they give you like a little HTML embed player, which I just copy and paste somewhere. I don't want to have to do this in Elementor every time, so I will just go to publish it in the back end. So here's my latest episode. I share, embed, and so it gives me the widget code. I'm just going to be copying and pasting that in there. So what else do I want to do? You can always update this later, by the way. You don't have to have this all figured out before you start styling the page with Elementor. You can come back and edit this later. It's really, really cool. So I'm going to add one more field called links mentioned, kind of like a show notes page for a podcast, right? Links mentioned. It's going to be just like a bullet list. It's going to be like another little content editor too. So not plain text. I'll do another visual editor here. You don't have to do that. Options required. No, I'm not going to make it required. I'll save that field. What if we wanted to do like social links? Yeah, social links. Like a Twitter link, Pinterest link for our guests, not for us. I'm just making stuff up here, by the way. So guest Pinterest link, plain text. Let's go with a actual website. This will be a link to their social page, website. Save, I'll add one more for Twitter and just let that be it for now. Or I could just do their website. That's actually a better one. Why don't I just do their website? Guest website. And then I will just put in website right here. That's actually better. But you can do multiple social things. It's worth noting that you have to save the pod every time. I've been adding those fields, save the pod. And let's just leave it at that for now. Let's just leave it at that. We can come back and add more later, like I said. All right, so now if I come to podcast, it should give me a few different things here. No podcast found. Let's add a new one. Episode 1, I'm gonna add in a title, just a little bit of content, like a guest intro or something. How to be a billionaire blogger, interviewing Pete McPherson. Pete is the rock star founder of Do You Blog at Do You Blog. He's super handsome and tall too. Not too bright though. Okay, so I got that. Now look at this. Look at all this other stuff right here. I got my embed player, links mentioned. I got my guest Pinterest link and my guest website. So let's say my guest website was Do You Even Blog. Let's say the Pinterest thing was, can I just do this? I don't know if that's actually the link or not. Maybe. Yep, it is. Okay. So let's just put that in there. Links mentioned. Let's just create like a little list here. This link, this link, this link, this link. And then I would like link those up. I would literally like type that in. I would link this to whatever, right? Cool. podcast Embed Player. So I'm actually just going to go to text right here. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to copy that and paste it over here. Pasted it in there. And then I'm going to hit publish. Cool. Done. So let's see what it looks like. It probably didn't look like anything. I'm going to tell you that. We're going to create a custom template that's going to display all this cool information. So I'm going to open this up in the new tab. Let's just see what happens here. Close these out. How to be a billionaire blogger. Hey, look, that's awesome, man. Oh, it's so good. This header right here and this footer were already created for another video, actually, in Elementor. So let's create a custom podcast page that I can use for all my podcasts across the thing. So theme builder, I'm going to create a new one. I'm going to call it podcast, easy podcast page. I'm just add new. This is going to be a single. I've already done a header and a footer. It's not a page, it's a single. This is going to be used for every podcast episode that I publish. Again, podcast. This wasn't there before. You can do it for posts, for pages. I'm going to do it for podcasts. I'm going to name it Easy Podcast Pages. Okay, I just created a new thing. I don't have any templates. I don't know why that's popping up. Close. All right, so here's what I have to work with. I'm not sure what's going on. There's an error going on with my footer right here. It's kind of weird. First thing, I always do this for everything I create, page layout. I'm just gonna, I was gonna do full width and leave the header in there, but my header's like got some weird margin issues going on. I don't know. So I'm just gonna create it from scratch right here. Elementor Canvas. There I go. This is gonna be a blank page right here. Very cool. So let's add in a title first, post title. Put that in here. Oh, one thing I could do is update the way this is previewing. It's actually already previewing the only podcast I have. So there you go. Let's just style it really quick. This section I want to make like kind of big right here. So height, I'm going to go like, no, not that quite that big. There we go. Fit to screen, I make it like a little bit higher. Maybe add in some meta information, like when it was published, some post info. I'm not going to do a whole lot of styling. I think you kind of get the point. I'll put that in there. Just go ahead and center it up. That'll look good. And so let's say I'm not even going to worry about the featured image now. We can put that anywhere using the featured image widget. There we go. Sorry, right there. Let me just add a new section down here. And I'm going to put in the post content. Or actually, no, let's do the embed player. Let's do the embed player. We can do post content, which is going to be this one right here. I will go ahead and put that down in here. There we go. And you should see my, there you go. There are my lines right there. Let's do the embed player. So here's what we do. We want a text thing like this, but it's going to populate with that, what's it called? Code, right? So just text. We just need text. There we go. Text editor. I'm going to put it down here right underneath the title. I'm going to delete all that. And dynamic. This is what we're looking for right here. A lot of different widgets are dynamically inserted, as in we don't type out what they are right here. They pull through whatever we posted in here on the back end. They're dynamically updated. So I'm going to go choose that. And you should see pods somewhere in here at the very bottom. Pods field. So I'm going to click that. The content of this little text area is now going to be dynamically updated with a pods field. I can click this. I wish they had a better tooltip to help people with this, but if you click that, it'll actually pop up like, okay, what do we need to do here? Links mentioned, embed player. Let's just do embed player. Okay, update. I just spent half an hour trying to figure out why I couldn't get this working. The embed player, which was HTML, was an iframe. Why I couldn't get it to pull through here. I tried everything. You know, this is updated. This is a pods field. This is the embed player. I tried everything. I could not get it to work. Not sure why, but this leads to something really cool. So when you create these different fields for your pods, remember I have an embed player, links mentioned, Pinterest, website, all that great stuff. When you create these things, you can also use these in shortcodes. So whenever I create a new podcast, I'm not even gonna bother putting anything, I don't need to dynamically pull this through. I'll just do this. I'll come in here, I'll copy and paste that iframe. Whenever I create a new episode, I'll hit publish. And instead of showing it like this, text editor, and updating it dynamically, I'm just gonna do it like this. You see how this one's coming through? This is another text editor from Elementor. I just dragged text editor. I just dragged that one in there. I can do it again right now. Drag it in there wherever I want it. Let's put it like right underneath this if it comes up. So instead of pulling it through dynamically like this, I just put in the pod shortcode. Pods, field, embed player. By the way, if you click this button, you'll be able to build this by yourself. And you can also do it down in here. You can put these anywhere, really. You can see that this little thing pops up now, and you can pretty much place these in wherever. I want to display a field from this item. The item is the pods. You can display the whole, all the things, all the fields if you wanted to. Embed player, embed underscore player, excuse me, insert, and that will give you that shortcode. But I just need to do this once, and I never need to do it again. It's going to pull through automatically. So I'm just going to do that. If I take my mouse away, you'll see it actually populate. Oh, I got to like come down here or something. And there we go. Now it works. All right, so I'm going to go through and delete this out of that guy. Not too bright though. I'm going to hit update, and we should be good to go here. Now, let's say I wanted to add 2 sidebars on either part. First of all, actually, let's pretend this was longer. This was like a full-on guest description. Maybe I even threw some images in here or whatever. This is like some stuff. There we go, just to make it a little bit more realistic. So I am actually going to go through here and add some columns down here where I'm going to put links mentioned. So I'm going to like just add a new column in here, maybe just 1 column. There you go. So just to style this a little bit, let's turn this entire page background just so you can see stuff a little better. Page background, let's do like a really off-white. Not awful white, but just off-white. There we go. That looks good. So this is the main content area. I like to just do white backgrounds here. Color, let's make that white. Maybe add in a little bit of padding, just like spruce it up just a little bit. That's going to be good right there. I'm going to move this over. There we go. And what we want to do from here is just drag and drop an additional field over there. Let's go ahead and save this just to see what that looks like. And what I'm going to do is add a dynamic field over here that will say links mentioned. It'll show that stuff, and then I'll show the guest website URLs and all that fancy stuff. All right, so I am going to drop in an intersection just so I can add some sections within sections and that sort of stuff. Throw that in there. I'm going to first do the links mentioned. Let's just put it in here as a text editor thing and put it like right there. I'm going to remove this other column over here, delete that. So this content I want to be dynamically updated with the links and mention pods field. Remember, this is a what you see is what you get editor. Links mentioned. I'm going to just choose that right there. And it should be good to go. All right, it's going to show that. Let's put like a nice little title up here that is going to be, there we go. All right. Links mentioned. Cool. And that'll be blah, 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 blah. And again, what about just making this like a, well, let's just make it stand out, like display. I'm just gonna like go through this. I don't care if this video takes a little bit longer, sorry in advance. Color, let's do like a nice green. Yeah, green works, right? Green, dark green. That looks a little bit less awkward. Blue, that looks better. Let's do blue. There we go. Oh, that's funny. Anyway. So background border, can we do like a border radius? Maybe like, just make it curved a little bit. Maybe not that much, a little bit less. Yeah, just like that. Links mentioned, I'm gonna make white. Yep, I'm gonna just go ahead and center it, perhaps. There we go. I'm gonna maybe add in a little bit more padding right here in this area. Just bump that up. Okay. This needs to also be white. Again, this is pulling in dynamically, but you can change the way the text looks, of course. Text color, it's going to be white. There is no way to update the color of links with Elementor. You have to do that via custom CSS, which is actually kind of frustrating. I'm not gonna lie, that's a limitation. But in general, that's looking pretty good right there. So let's do the guest website URL. Remember, in the social links, we have social links. What we could do, by the way, is this social icon. Yeah, let's just check this out. Let's just put them down here. Anything you can update a link to. So when you click on these things, you can update the link. On headers, you can make those link to stuff. On the what you see is what you get editor, you can't make it link, like the entire thing. You can put content in here, whatever, but you can't link the entire thing. Wherever you can actually update a link, you can do it dynamically with a pods URL. So let's add that Pinterest one in here. Okay, there is a Pinterest one. We'll just do that. Pinterest, and then the link, I'm gonna click on dynamic again, and pods URL. Pods URL, and I'm gonna make sure it's the right one. Guest Pinterest link, there we go. And I could do Twitter and Facebook and YouTube as well. If I do WordPress, let's just pretend this is their website. You could do it like this. Dynamic, pods URL field, just choose their website right here, and then we're good to go. What I might also do, by the way, if I were doing this for real, would be to add another title that says like, follow our guest. And then put it down here. So people know like this is not just random follow links, this is the guest stuff like here. And these should be all linked up. Another thing you could do, by the way, is do another, like if you just want to say like, check out the guest website or something like that, you could do that. You could write out another title just like this, and under the link, you could link that title to the same place. Right now, I'm just gonna use a button. By the way, you could also do a button, like if you didn't want to use the social icons, just throw in a button down here anywhere. Yeah. Let's see if it actually goes through. And you update this link to be dynamic as well, pulling in the pods URL field. You click that, and that could be the guest website as well. And then you could say like, visit the guest's website. So something else you could do is, we're getting fancier here. We're getting more advanced. Another thing you could do is go back to our pods here. I'm gonna add a new field called guest name. Guest name. This is going to be, let's just do plain text right now. I'm gonna save the field and update the pod, save the pod. I'm gonna go to that podcast episode and update it. I'm gonna refresh for one thing. Once this is done, all right, I now have this guest name right here. So let's say it was Susie McSusie. All right, I'm gonna hit update. Now I can use that in a bunch of different places. Like this button I said, like follow our guest. What if I just said follow Susie McSusie? What would that look like? So what if our title, delete that, was dynamically inserted pods field. Let's go with guest name. Oh, I gotta refresh the page. Refresh. Sorry about that. And it should be able to pull through now. Okay, there we go. Follow our guest, delete that, add in the dynamic name, first of all, pods field, guest name, that should automatically just go, Susie McSusie. Now, you can also do this. Notice when I clicked on here, there was advance. Before, what if I just said follow? Follow Susie McSusie. After, let's do a exclamation mark right there. You can also enter in a fallback in case, I actually don't know what that does. In case something doesn't work, not sure. Anyways, follow Susie McSusie. Now this is updated automatically. That's pretty cool. Let's add in, oh, let's take away the button. I can't, hang on, I'm gonna move my face. Whoa, that was crazy. There we go, delete. Let's add in another space, just a little bit of space in here. I like space in my blog design. Hopefully that'll pull through. That did not work. Move it up in here. There we go. Follow Susie McSusie. I got these things. You could add custom, no, don't even worry about it. This looks good. I like this right here. We got our embed player. This does not look good, however. That's a good point. So let's add in another intersection like we did right there up to the top. And I want to put this thing, I want to make it like smaller, basically, is what I'm trying to do here. So I'm going to try and squeeze this in. Come on, internet. Internet's going a little bit slow. It's making this hard. I'll have to pull open the navigator right here and try and drag this in there. It's worth noting that sometimes you'll see this and you can't get it to like show up, but it's probably still working, hopefully still working. I have no idea. Anyways, I'm gonna like shorten this up a little bit to be like that big. Nice and crisp right there. Maybe even add, no, I don't need any more space right there. I think that's probably okay. Let me update this and let's see what it looks like. And go over here, move my face. Whoa, that's crazy, that's crazy. Anyways, refresh that, let's see what it looks like. Hopefully it'll be thinner. Yep, so okay, so that worked right there. Here's my content coming through. Links mentioned, blah, blah, blah. Follow Susie McSusie. And we're good to go. So the coolest thing about this is we can come over here, create a new podcast. We'll say Seth MacFarlane, how about that? How to draw stuff and be funny. Seth is our guest today, and then we'd like enter in a bunch of this content there. Embed Player, I'm just going to actually grab the same one, or no, I'm gonna grab a different one. It doesn't matter. Add new podcast, I'll get that in a second. Links mentioned, Seth's website, Pete's website, some book, some other resource, right? Come in here, let's just link that up. Let's make all these links, or just a few of them, just to see what that looks like. Guest Pinterest link, this is just gonna be something. Guest website is gonna be something. Guest name is Seth MacFarlane. I don't even know if I'm spelling that correctly. In fact, I'm pretty sure I'm not. Now, oh wait, I need to get a one more code right here. All right, here it is. I'm just gonna copy that and paste it over in here and be done. Publish. Now I can't actually look at this live yet because I haven't published this template when it's under display conditions, but I could, why not? Publish. I'm going to include podcast all, yeah, for all my podcasts, I wanna show this template right here. Now, when I preview this, by the way, my header and footer might still show up. I'm actually not positive. We shall see. Invalid website provided. Oh, I need to actually do a Pinterest thing. Pinterest, sorry. I'll just pretend. It's this one right here. So go back here. Uh-oh, where did it go? Did I just lose everything?
What?
No, I did not. I don't know why that didn't work very well. Anyways, I will come under here under, oh wow, I did. Not sure why it did not work here. Anyways, guest Pinterest link, guest website, guest name, Seth MacFarlane, Seth MC. Links mentioned. Oh, let's go to visual right here. Get these out of the way. Come in here, Embed Player. All right, I got my thing. I posted it in there. I actually have URLs for these things. Apparently you have to do it URL. When you say it's a URL field, you have to enter in a URL. Anyways. Seth MacFarlane, I got my thing in here, got this. So just hit update here and see what happens. All right, we have updated. I have published this across my entire site for all my podcast pages. And let's just see if the stuff comes through. So click this. We're not gonna see a header or a footer, remember, no header or footer, but that's awesome. Here is what I just embedded. Here's our thing, follow Seth MacFarlane. It's got the correct links over here. That's pretty cool. So, nice, done and done. Just to make sure it's pulling different stuff dynamically, let's go check out the other podcast that we produced. This one right here. And it worked. There we go. This is now live on the internet, pulling through all the great stuff, the same, everything's looking good. That's awesome. Okay. Whew. That was a super long video, but hopefully the more advanced Elementor users out there, specifically podcasters or people who run courses or need different post types in WordPress, hopefully you found that valuable. One other resource I will give you is pods.io, the Pods website. They have lots of good documentation, tutorials. It's also a really great search function for when you have trouble with anything. Come over here and just hit search. I'll tell you, right now, There are a bunch of really technical, fancy developer and coders on here that blew me away with like, I don't understand any of this. Just a warning. When you go on here, there will be a lot. There is a lot. This is a massive resource, some of which is easy to understand, some of which is not. You'll have to sift through it. But that said, it's worth coming here if you need help with anything. And of course, you can continue to search YouTube's for any other Pods tutorials. There are a number of them. I've looked at them myself, and they're really good. So my friends, that is all. If you enjoyed this video right here, if you're a blogger, Elementor, podcaster, like and subscribe to my channel. Well, you don't like my channel. I guess you like the video and then you subscribe to my channel. Thank you, blogger, creator, podcaster, online business person. Hopefully you got something out of this long video. If you're still with me, drop me a comment. Who are you, by the way, that make it all the way to the end of this video? You are my people. You're my nerdiest of nerds when it comes to online business. Anyways, if that's you, drop me a content. Drop me some content. Drop me some content in the comments. Subscribe to the channel, and I love you guys. See you next time.